This one's fun. So if you have any size square, this one is made from a 6-inch square, just a regular origami. So you can learn this with regular origami, or if you have a large sheet, 12 inches, 10 inches. These are made out of the 10-inch size. So I'm just going to show you kind of actually what I wanted to do just to finish it off. I wanted to finish it off by painting this little card and gluing that on. But what's nice about these is they're really easy to make. And what's great about them is they're like a pop-up. They're very interactive, and you can even put them in your journals just like this. And when you close the pages, they'll pop up when you open them up. So
Yeah.
and this one, I'm actually not finished with it yet, but it's going to be a little message. I'm going to keep this little hidden message. I'll just write it so that it lands underneath this flap. So then when you pull it out, you'll get a message. So that will be kind of a cool thing, right? So the measurements for this, so you'll know, are 10-inch square, and this little card is 3.5 inches by 6.5. So if you want to make something like with that in mind, this one, let's see, and this little strip doesn't matter. You can use ribbon or just another piece of paper to make the closure. I will show you how. Let's see if I can get that closed. So this is one of them. And then the other one, this one I made a long time ago. It's a little sentiment with a little tag inside.
Oh, nice.
May your life be like a wildflower, growing free in the beauty and joy of each day. So these are kind of neat things, and you could probably put them on either way, these little slide-on things. So let's get started. Of course, I wanted to show you this little guy because it's so cute. It's 6-inch square, and I made a little card. This is for my husband. I'm going to give it to him when I'm feeling like it. Not today, maybe, because I'm too tired. But I just painted a little thing, and on the back, I wrote, "I love you," and which means that I accept you for the person that you are, and that you don't wish to, and I don't wish to change you into someone else. And so anyway, it's a long little thing, a note to give to my honey. And sometimes even if it's a note you could give to your daughters or, your kids, grandkids, just kind of a nice thing, or just having this for anybody who needs a little bit of love, who needs some compassion, right? We all do, right? So I'll start first by doing the little, let's see. Which one would you like me to start with? The 6-inch or the 10-inch? Anybody have any requests?
Can we start small and move up?
Got it. We will start small and we will move from there. So all you need of course, is the paper, a glue stick, and another strip of paper for the band. So what we have is this little cute little thing, and how you start it is with the heart. Whatever you color that you want the heart to be, that's the size or the side you start with. So in this case, I want the heart to be kind of a blue color, and I want the background to be this cute little bunnies. So that's how we start. So start with the heart side color up, and you're gonna fold it fold it in half diagonally on both sides. Open the paper, fold it in half diagonally. So now you have this crisscross going on. And now you're just going to fold all 4 corners to that very center crease, or that little intersection right in the center. All 4 corners. So your paper has to be, of course, perfectly square to do this. But that's all you need, is just a perfect square. Now we have all of these folded, and now you're just going to fold one of the sides, depending on how, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to fold the top corner, or this, all the way back to this fold back here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And so that's basically, I can leave it like that, but I usually like to fold it under. So I'm just going to fold it under. So this will be my card. You can see kind of how it's going to be folding together now. So the next step is to fold these outside, the left and the right outside edges, fold them right to the center. Everything folded together, just fold it to that center on both sides. All the layers. When you open it up, you'll see you want to open the whole thing up, not these parts, but just these. And what we're going to do is we're just going to reverse the folds on this part here, this second part here. I'm just going to reverse the folds. I'm just going to go this way, and I'm going to also fold it this way. So basically, once I fold it back, I've got this going on. So basically, I'm going to fold it just like I just fold it back, and then I'm going to reverse this part here, and then I'm just going to fold this other part back. So this, you can see, is really the pop-up, and you can leave it like this. But what I like about doing, I like the heart. So you need a pair of scissors, which I forgot to mention, a pair of scissors. And what you want to do, you can mark it with a pen or a pencil, or you can just wing it. And I usually just wing it, but today is probably a day I need to mark it with a pencil. So what I need to do is just make a little tiny, I guess I need to make a little mark where I want to cut that. And it's basically, you want to cut kind of a triangle out. Well, you're not cutting the triangle. You're just going to slice it right from here to here. So I'm just going to mark it pretty much the same place on both sides. And with that, I'm just going to take my scissors, and right where I marked, I'm just going to snip it right there on both of those sides. Just a little snip. And then what that does is now I'm able to, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm going to leave that. I'm not going to do anything yet up there. I've already snipped it. So what I need to do is to make this area more narrow is I'm going to take this part here, this little raw edge, and I'm just going to fold it back to create kind of a narrowing this part out here. Then I'm going to close it, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And this is going to give me that heart shape on the bottom. Same, I'm just folding this part back to meet that first crease. And what's good right now is to just use your glue stick to kind of tack everything down, because if you don't, then it just likes to flip up everywhere. So I'm just going to grab a little scrap piece of paper, and I basically, all I want is to glue this part down and maybe this little part down. So I'm just going to open that up, put a tiny, just enough glue. I'll move it over here just to kind of tack that down. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this part just to tack it down. Doesn't need to be a lot. So that tacks that down, and then I'm going to close it. And the same thing, I'll just glue these little parts that I had done. I'll start with this part here and a little bit there, just to kind of keep those secure. All right, so the final step on this is to take this part here that I snipped, and you're just going to fold it on both of these. You're just going to fold it backwards, just kind of like at an angle, so that if you can see what I'm doing, because it's a small piece, I'm just folding that little corner back to kind of make it's sort of like a triangle at the top. And that I'll just tack down with a little glue, just a tiny bit. Of course, I have a big glob there. But just that kind of will hold it down. And I'll do the same thing on this side. Gonna just fold it backwards so that it makes like a triangle at the top. And then tack it down. So now what you have is this really cute heart. And you can write on it. You can edge it with paint. There's different things you can do to decorate it. So then the next step to close it, because it wants to flip up, is you can decide what color you want to, you can use, I think the green will look better. So you can make it as wide or as narrow as you want. I kind of like them wide, the bands a little bit wide, because it just kind of helps to hold it together. But the thing about this is all you have to do is turn it over and fold over one piece in one direction. And don't go too tight because you'll want to slide this off and on. But just kind of, I could see mine isn't even measured equally, or cut equally, but that's all right. But you don't want to just have it too tight. You just kind of have a loose fit. And then what I do is tack it down with some glue. Maybe just on the edge only. And you can just kind of move it around until you like, position it the way you like, and then tack it down. And now, if you give yourself a little room, it slides very easily off and on. Just don't want to go too tight. You can, especially when you put other things in it, like cards and things. So that is that. And I'm going to do another one on the bigger one, so we can do it again together. So I've got this beautiful I love this paper. It's so pretty. I've had this for years, and I just always wanted to do something with it. And this is the perfect one, perfect day to do it. So I'm going to start, because I like this red being the heart shape. I'm going to start with it, this side up, and I'm going to fold it in half. And this is pretty thick paper, and some of it kind of cracks on the a little bit on the edges, and I'll tell you a way I solve that or remedy that. So you open it up and then fold it in half in the other direction. Now we've got 4 of these. We've got this little X in the middle, right? That's the part you're going to fold all the corners, these 4 corners to, that intersection, lining everything up. This is a really nice size, and it can actually go in your journals. If you have the larger journal, this will fit perfectly in your journal. I'm pretty sure. I should check. So we've got all 4 corners to the center, and then you'll decide which side. It doesn't matter which side you do it on. And it would matter if, let's say, if you had text going in a certain direction and you wanted to make sure your text was going in the direction you want, just kind of look at the back and know that you will want to have your top and bottom. You will just fold up, and this will be folded also back to that. That's this folded seam here. And leaving it up like this is nice and decorative. You can leave it. This time I'll just leave it so you can just see the difference. Oh, that's right. I'm gonna fold these now. Now this is thicker paper. So you just wanna fold the whole thing on the left side, fold it right. And sometimes if I just use my finger, I'm kind of anchoring that spot there because it might just wanna fold out. So it wants to migrate out. So just put your finger on that as you start your fold, especially with the thicker paper, and then just lay it right on top of that folded seam and then crease. A bone folder would have been handy for me. And now that's great. I've got that. Same thing. I'm just going to fold from the right side. I'm folding it all the way. This is very thick paper. I'm just going to go ahead and fold that to meet. This is a cupboard door fold. So now I open up all of the right and the left side, leaving the center just the way it is. And I'm going to take this second fold is actually the only one I'm reversing. This middle fold right here, there's 3 creases. This middle crease is the one I'm going to reverse. And just fold that backwards. And then you're going to fold that other one backwards. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to reverse that one fold and then fold it backwards. That is just pretty all by itself. I like it, but I'm going to make a heart out of it. And because I think I want mine to Yeah, I'll just keep it like that. So now I'm going to narrow the bottom. And the bottom is, this bottom edge is going to pull right back onto that crease. Or that first crease right there. And I'll take my glue stick, tack it down now. And then I'm going to open it up and do the same thing on this side. Fold that paper backwards and tack it down. You really don't have to do this, the glue, but I just like it because it keeps it, especially if you're using it as an interactive or a pop-up, it's good to have that tacked down. So the next step is to make your cuts. And if you just kind of make an eyeball, you can either eyeball it, but just imagine there's a triangle here. It's about an inch, a little over an inch on the, I think it is, yeah. A little bit over an inch on this side, on this one. And I'm just going to make my little snip with the scissors on both sides. And then just take those little triangles that you just cut and fold them backwards so they line kind of up with that outer edge. And do that on both sides. And then tack those down. Oops, I did it the wrong way. That's what happens when you don't have enough sleep. There we go. So now I have these, and I'll just tack them down. That's probably the most important part to tack down because these little guys want to flip up. Okay, got the heart. It's all ready. And so you can decorate a card. I think this should fit it. You can slide it in this way, like just like a tag, or you can decide if you're going to do a message. You can get your message, maybe just a a pretty picture or something. A photo would be nice, and then maybe a little greeting on the that would be hidden behind that would be really fun. There's all different ways you can make this very personal and lots of fun. So the last step, of course, is to get that so that it will lay down. So I kind of like this word, and I'm going to try to figure out a way. Of course, there's laugh too, and I like that. So I'm just going to do that. And there's ways that sometimes before what I like to do, I'm going to just quickly show you something which you may have already know about, but I'm going to show you anyway. But let's say I've got this white edge, and I just kind of want it to look a little better. I want it to look dimensional. I'm just going to take a stamp pad and running it along the side of the paper. I'm doing that just to give it a little kind of just a better texture or dimension. I think I've been doing this for I don't know how many, since stamping. I don't know who started it, but boy, it's a great idea because it just kind of gives it a nice finish on both sides. So that, especially if you're making a belt or something like this, just giving those edges a little darkening really makes them look interesting. And if you wanted to, you can even get a little crazier and kind of do the edges just a little bit more. Like this, just kind of lay it on its side a little bit. It gives it almost like a distressed airbrush kind of look. So that kind of, just wanted to show you that because it makes them look better. And I have like tons of different colors, but you can use that. If you don't have a stamp pad, you can also use paints. Acrylic paint's very dry, like a sponge. Dried acrylic paint would be great. So I'm just going to lay this over, and I want to line it up because I have a word on there, and I'll decide where I want to put it. And I'll just turn it over with everything together. And then same thing, I'll fold over my edges. And if I need to trim them, I'll trim them. But it's best to make them a little bit longer. Ooh, I think maybe I'll have the dance on the back. Don't want to lose either one of those. You could also take an edger or something to make it almost like an obi belt. If you wanted to curve it, you could do that, or have, if you had pinking shears or some kind of way to make a really neat border would be really cool. I'm just going to do just something a little different so that it looks like it doesn't look, so it looks more decorative instead of like unfinished. And I could have also taken that pad. I'm not going to do that right now to you. I could just as a way to finish it off. And I'm just going to go ahead and put some paste on that, and it is done. And I don't want to go too tight. I'm just going to just a loose belt. And there it is.